Hello, unique awesome people. Today I'm going to do my best to help identify the difference between polygamy and polyamory. They are two very different words that I myself naively misinterpreted about 4 years ago. So it's a reasonable thing to assume that a lot of people out there are doing the same thing. And how are you going to understand something in order to have an opinion about it, to decide that it may or may not be for you if you can't identify the meaning of the word correctly? So polygamy represents a marriage, a legally binding contract of emotions, and polyamory represents love, the capacity to love more than one person in a consensual, non-monogamous relationship. So we have probably all heard the reality TV shows and the corruption that is unfortunately associated to polygamy. Polygamy has had a number of legal news articles over the years with regards to the religion and the I think abuse of the situation that a partner who's married to multiple spouses who don't have any necessary relationship with each other in these polygamous relationships. Whereas polyamory, and they could overlap depending, but in polyamory, it doesn't represent marriage. Polyamory is simply the notion of having the capacity to love more than one person. And so, many years ago, I used to tell people, I'd like to get into a polygamous relationship. And I was saying that thinking that that represented polyamory and not understanding that it didn't. And so for me, someone who has lived my entire adult life in group open relationships, prior to discovering these terminologies, that was still something that I didn't understand. So I thought, it would be very important to make a video like this to shine a little light on the subject. The other thing I would like to indicate is that you don't necessarily need to be bisexual in order to be having polyamorous relationships. Of course, it's a nice added bonus so that you don't feel as if you necessarily have to sacrifice being able to experience both male and female relationships if you have consensual monogamous relationships in polyamory, of course. But it also doesn't mean that a polygamous relationship means that none of those partners are bisexual and that all of those married spouses are heterosexual. It really depends on the dynamics of each relationship. And I think that those are misconceptions that definitely get lost and overlapped within these two words that obviously do sound very similar. Polyamory versus polygamy. I actually had polyamory tattooed because I'm silly. I was kind of looking to brand myself because I wanted people to pay attention to what I was telling them. And I find a lot of times, we can tell people how we feel and what we're looking for and what we're not looking for. And depending on the strength of the emotions that person's feeling towards you, they may really not listen to the things that you're saying. So I get a real kick out of being able to make these videos to make my message just a little bit clearer. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, guys.